Okay, hello everyone. So we'll be covering section 9.3 and 6.8 in this video. So now here the volume of a box, length 6 centimeters, width 2 centimeters, height 4 centimeters. So let's check that. Let's make a box as the best I can make. So a box like this, remember, it will have a structure like this, a volume, right? The inside. And everybody know what's volume is? What occupies inside the box. So this is going to be the the height is going to be 4. The width is going to be 2 centimeters and the length is going to be 6 centimeters. You're just supposed to multiply 3 of the numbers. So what's 6 times 4? 6 times 4 is 24. Then you multiply 24 by 2. 24 by 2. So which is 2 times 4 is 8, 4 times 2 is 8, 2 times 2 is 4. So what is the answer? 48. Let's go to the next one. Now here, the same thing, they're making it for a cube, right? The length, the width, and the height. So what are we going to do? 6 times 5 times 2. Remember, because addition and multiplication, they can be done like in any with any numbers. You can do it 5 times 2 first, you can do 6 times 2 first, or you can do 6 times 5 first, as you like. So let's do that. So what is 5 times 2? That gives us 10. 10 times 6, that gives us 60. So that is your answer, 60 for this one. The next one, what is the volume of a cube with side length 5? So now again, remember for a cube, all of the length is 5, the width is 5, and the height is 5. So it's all is 5, 5, 5 for a cube. Remember, they have all the same sides. So let's do that. So 5 times 5 is 25. 25 times 5. So what's 5 times 5 is 25. 5 here, 2 up. 10, 11, 12, 125. Okay. The volume of a rectangular prism. Again, why are they saying prism? Because it's showing like this, right? It shows a bit like this. Okay, so here again, this is the length, which is going to be 11. The width is going to be 20, and the height is 10. So 11 times 10, let's do 11 times 10, or you can do 11 times 20 first. So 11 times 20, what is that going to be? 0, 0. 2 times 1 is 2, 2. So 220. I'm just making, like, I'm doing it in front of you. So if you make any mistakes, you can go back and check. So 220 times 10, remember, what is that? 2200. Remember, whenever you multiply by 10 or the numbers of 10, you just add it's 220, right? You multiply it by 10. The 0 just gets added to the number. So it will be 2200. 2200. The next one, the volume of a cube. Now here, what you can do is you can directly just add them all together. So they know that 1 is considered 1. So how many cubes are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 cubes. How many rows are there? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times 8. You can either count them and you'll get 32, or you can count the number of cubes there are and how many rows there are. So you can just do that directly. So 4 times 8 is 32. That's your answer, 32. Let's zoom out. Let's go to the next one. Okay, the same thing you're going to do here. The length, the width, and the height. So what is this? This is 3 here. It's 3 here because they're 1, 2, 3, and each cube counts as 1. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 3 here, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 here. So what is that? 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 5 is 45. Okay, let's go to the last question. Okay, here, how many cubes does he use? So here, what are they showing? Let's go to the question first. Adam uses centimeters cubes, 1 centimeter. This cube is 1 centimeter, right? They're saying how many cubes is he going to put in this volume? Now remember, for this small cube, what is the volume? So first we need to find out the volume of the small cube and how many then we will know how many can fit here in the volume of the bigger cube. So 1 times 1 times 1, that's just going to be, the volume of this is 1. Now we need to check what is the volume of the bigger cube. So how many smaller ones can fit in that cube, right? So imagine all of them can fit. So we just need to find out the volume of the bigger cube. So all the smaller ones can take up all the volume of the bigger cube. So understand like that, 5 times 4 times 3. Everyone, please don't forget to subscribe. So 5 times 4 is 20. 20 times 3 is, what is that? 60. So just write here 60. Okay, let's go to the next quiz. Just give me a minute. So we're going to submit this. Okay. Okay, let's go to the next quiz. Sorry, it just gives me 2 minutes. We're going to now, the longest quiz is chapter 6, section 8. Chapter 6, section 8 is right here. Attempt quiz. Okay. Now here it's mostly about division. Okay, so now let's do division. So what is happening here is that you have 48.2 divided by 9. So 48.2, right? Divided by 9. So now what is the, remember I always recommend every person is that you write the multiplication, the number that is here, write the multiplication of it. So 9 times 1 is 9, 9 times 2 is 18. Let's jump. Let's go to 9 times 5. If you know your multiplications, it will be very easy for you. So 45, right? I know after 9 times 5 is 9 times 6, which is 54. Right? So now what is it going to be? That's going to be 9 times 5 is 45. That's the closest number to 48. That's 5 up. 45 at the bottom. 8 minus 5 is 3. 4 minus 4 is 0. We put the point up. We bring the 2 down. Right? So 32. So now what is the number that's closest to 32? Then 9 times 3, let's put that here. That is 27. And after 27, we have 9 times 4, which is 36. So 36 is going to be larger. So we're just going to use 9 times 3, which is 24. So let's put here 3. And what is the number here? 27. It will be 5 here, right? So now if you have 5 here, you're going to put a 0. Now, when you have a decimal point up, you can add a 0 without adding anything above. So 50, I will do it again. That will be 5, 45. Now you're getting 5 again. So you'll you'll continuously getting 5 because you will add a 0 here again, and then it will be 45 again. And then you'll get 5 again. So 5 is being repeated. So we'll put a line only above the 5, not above the 3, only above the 5. So 5.35. The next one, 30.8 divided by 5. So 30.8 divided by 5. That's going to be 6 because we know 5 times 6 is 30. So 5 times 6 is 30. 30 here. Now you have to, it's like the decimal is like a wall. So you put the decimal up, okay, and then you bring the 8 down, right? Now we know that 5 times 1 is 5. And 5 times 2 is 10. So what is this? 2, right? We'll use 1 here. That is going to be 5. I'll give you 3. Now you can add another 0 without adding any other 0 at the top. So what is that? 5 times 6 gives you 30. So you'll be doing 5 times 6 here. So 6 is here, 6.16. Keep in mind when you're supposed to add 0 above and when you're not supposed to add the 0 above. So 81 and 15, you'll put 15 outside and 18 and 81 inside. What is that going to be? So 15 times 2 is 30. 15 times 3 is going to be 45. Sorry, 45. And 15 times, let's jump at 15 times 5. So that's going to be 75. And then 15, okay, so 75. 15 times 6, we know it's going to be larger. So it'll be 90, right? So 90 here. So now what do? Is that we choose the number that is the smallest, which is going to be 15 times 5, sorry. So 15 times 5, what does that give you? It gives us 75. So let's put 5 above and let's put 75 at the bottom. You'll subtract that. What do you get? 7 here, 11 here, 6, right? So it will be 6 here. And so minus 7 is 0. We add another 0 here, but how do we do that? Now we have to put a decimal point up because after every whole number, there's a decimal if you want to add a 0 at the bottom. So you'll put the decimal up and you'll add a 0 here. Now what is 15 times what gives us 60? So we can check that. So 15 times 4. Let's do that, right? Because we did 3, we did 5, 4. So 15 times 5, let's do it on the screen. That is 0, 2, 4, 5, 6, 6. So 6 here, 60. So what is your answer here? 81 divided by 15, you get 5.4. Sorry, not 6 up, 4. Because 15 times 4, we got 60. This will be 60. Sorry, 5.4. What am I doing? 5.4. Okay, now in here, 85.8. 85.8. Okay, so now let's divide by 40. We know now, remember, 40, they just added a 0 here. The multiplication is the same of 4. So 40 times 2 is 80. 40 times 3 is 120. And 40 times 4 is going to be 160. Now, what is the closest number to this? That is 2, which is 80. So minus subtraction 5 here, 0. Now you're going to put the decimal up and put the 8 at the bottom, right? So 58 is going to be what? 40, because that's the only number that's smaller than 58 and closer to it. So 40 here, 1, 8. Again, what is the smallest number? Now let's do 40 times 5. That's going to be 200. Now, what is 180? Now, you need to add another 0 because 18 is very small. It's even smaller than 40, right? So we can't use anything. So we need to add a 0 here. So the number here is 160. Now here, it's going to be 2. 8 minus 6 is 2. 0 here, 0 here. And then we can add another 0. So then what we do? 5. 2.145. Now here, 17.5. I know a lot of students struggle with this whenever they have two decimals, so 17.5 and 0.14. Now, write it like this and then multiply here by 100. Now, why am I multiplying here by 100? So I can take the decimal point out and then multiply above by 100 as well. So 1, 2. So 1750 over 14. Now, what you can do, you can directly divide them. 1750 divided by 4. You can simplify it, okay? 1750 divided by 4. Sorry, 1 minute. Or either you can, yeah. So let's do it directly. So 14, or you can, okay. So 1750, if you want to simplify it, so it becomes a smaller number, you can divide this by 2, which I always recommend to students I tutor because it becomes smaller for them. So it's easier to handle. So, and also dividing 2 divided by 1750 is quicker. So you can do 2. Everybody knows the multiplication of 2. So it will be 8, 16 at the bottom. 1, 15. We know 7 is 2 times 4, 2 times 7 is 14. We put 14 at the bottom. And then 1 here, 0, we bring the 0 down. We know that's 5, right? 875 divided by 7. So now what you can do, now you can directly 875, you can solve it. Because now you know that 875 and 7, they're both odd. So you cannot divide by 2 further. So 875 divided by 2, what will that give you? You know the multiplication of 7 now. It has become easy for you. So what do? We do 7 times 7. We can just put 7 up. So I mean 1 at the above, 7 at the bottom. 8 minus 7 is 1. We bring 17 down. 7 times 2 is 14. We put 2 here, 14 here, 3 here, 0 here, and then 5. There you go. You got your answer. 125. But whatever way is easy for you, if you want to deal with bigger numbers, you can do that as well, if that's what you think is easier for you. And this one, what do? Is 28.2. So 6, 28.2. Now we know what is the closest number to 28.2. 6 times 3 is what? 18. 6 times 4 is 24. And 6 times 5 is 30. Now, what is 6 times 4? That's 24. You put 4 up, you put 24 at the bottom. Again, I'll just mention again that please don't forget to subscribe. So 8 minus 4 is 4 here, 0. You put the decimal point up and you bring the 2 down. We know directly, if you know the multiplication really well, that's going to help you. So please do memorize your multiplications. So 6 times 6 is 36, and 6 times 7 is 42. So now here, what is it going to be? 7. So 4.7. Now here, enter your final answer in the box as a decimal with no trailing zeros. Again, it's the same thing, 9.6 divided by 6.4. The more you practice these questions, the easier they will become. So do practice them, times 10 and times 10. Again, why am I multiplying by 10? Because I just want to take out this decimal point by this one digit. So if I'm going to move out only one digit to the right, so I'll multiply it by 10 only. Because the 0 represents how many times you're going to move the decimal point. So it's going to be 96 divided by 64. Now, remember, what is, can we do any divisibility rules here? So 9 plus 6 is 15. And 6 plus 4 is 10. No, 3, 1 we can't do. But we can do 2 because they're both even, right? So we can simplify it first. Simplify it first. So 96, what do we get? So it's going to be 4 up, 8 at the bottom, 1, 16. That's going to be 8, 48, right? At the bottom, 32, right? Again, you can simplify that by 2. Okay, so 48 and 32, or you can directly, start simplifying, like you can divide them. So 32, just a minute. Okay, so we can directly just do it, 32 and 48. So what is that going to be? It's only like if you multiply it by 2, so into 4, 6, 64. That's going to be bigger, right? So you can just use 1 here, 32. 8 minus 2 is 6. 4 minus 1 is 3, so 16. So now what do you have to do? You have to add a decimal point up, so you can add a 0 here, right? So what do we do next? We write the multiplication of 32. So now remember it's ending in a 0, so automatically we want to try with 5 first. So 5, 5, 10, 10 here, 15, 16. There you go. It's quicker, 1.5. So you got 1.5. If you want to do it with larger numbers, that's your choice. But I just find it easier because students I tutor, I always tell them to make the number smaller for them. So it's easier to deal with. So 35.4. Now don't get confused by this 10 to the power of 3. What does 10 to the power of 3 mean? That they're just going to be 3 zeros. 1, 2, 3. You don't even have to write it like this. You just write 35.4 and divide it by 1, 2, 3. Now move the decimal point inwards because division makes the number smaller. So we move it to the left. 1, 2, 3. So it's going to be 0.0354. Now 28, 100, right? Because they are 10 to the power of 2. 1, 2, 0.828. So 0.28. You're going to move the decimal 2 times inwards because there are 2 zeros here. The next one, 1 over 8. Again, 1 over 8 decimal, you're supposed to divide. So 8 here, 1 inside, 0.1, because that's the only number. If you go 8 times 2, you know that's 16. So 10 minus 8 is 2. Again, you can put as many zeros now, so you can put a 0 here. So 8 times 2 is now 16. We will put 16 at the bottom. 1, 10, 4, and 0 here. Again, you can put another 0 without adding any 0 above. So what is that going to be? 5. So 0.25. 0.125, sorry. 0.125. Again, if you have any questions, ask me in the comment section below, okay? So 4 and 20.24. Now here, okay, let's see what happens here. So let's solve it. So it will be 6, sorry, not 6, 5, 20, and then it will be 20 minus 20 is 0. Then you put the decimal point up. Now 2 is smaller than 4. So you know that 4 times 1 is also not going to work. So what do? You want to bring the 4 down as well. When you bring down two numbers together, then you put a 0 up. Now 4 times 6 is, you put 4 up, sorry. 6 times 4 is 24. Put it like this. What is that? 0 now. 5.06. Okay, let's go here. Now here, this question was also in the previous, I think, periodic AMS you guys had. So it's very easy that Mrs. William, she's giving out for her students 2 pencils, 3 notebooks, and 1 eraser. So let's check. So number of students and number of pencils, right? So number of students, if it's 1, she's giving out 2. If it's 2 students, what will it total up to? 4, right? So she's giving 1 student 2. And when there are 2 students, each one of them get 2 and 2, right? So that will total up to 4 pencils. So 4, and then check the last one is a 6. The next one, we can say number of students, number of notebooks. They're saying for each student is getting how many notebooks? 3. So this is 3 notebooks, right? So now 2, they're saying now the second, if there are 2 kids, in total, they're supposed to get 6, right? Because one student is going to get 3 and the other student is also going to get 3. So they're adding all of them, they're supposed to get 6, but it's not 6 here. So this is incorrect. The next one, number of students 1 and number of pencils is 2. And then number of pencils is 2, but the number of students is 2, but the number of pencils is 3. That's not right, right? Because when one student is getting 2 pencils, 2 students are supposed to get in total 2 and 2, 4 pencils, right? And then let's go to the last one. 1 and 1, because the number of erasers, every student is getting 1 eraser. So it's 1. 2 students will get, you're just going to add 1 and 1 pencil. Okay, so let's go to the next one. In this one, you just have to figure out, look, what is the highest number? 60,000 for Fred. So we're going to write 60,000. They're saying score, so we'll write 60,000 here. And we're going to write for the tallest block or the tallest bar, Fred. The next one is what? Ellen, right? Oh, sorry, Jack. So Jack, we're going to put at the next one. That's a bit smaller than Fred, right? So that's going to be 60,000, but they don't have any, they only have 3 blocks here, right? So what are we going to, for Jack, it's 50,000, the number is not here. The next one, what is smaller than Jack, is Ellen. So we're going to put Ellen here. Now, do we have the number 40,000? Yes, we do. So put it here. The last one is Mike, and we're just going to put the number here, 20,000. Okay, this one, 42.5 and 42.1. I'll just do one. The next you can do it by yourself. If you have any questions, please ask me in the comment section, and you have my email. So 42.1 divided by 5, what does that give you? So you know the multiplication of 5 is 5 times 5 is 25. I'm always writing from a bigger number because, you know, the more you know your multiplication, the more you know where you can start from. So 5 times 6 is, because I know some students do struggle with multiplication, so you can add here 5, right? So it'll be 30. Then 5 times 7 is 35. So again, you can add here 5 and you get 35. 5 times 8 is 40. So, and I know that 5 times 9 is 45, right? So what number is going to be smaller? 5 times 8. So that is, you put your 8 up and 40 at the bottom and you subtract. What do you get? 2. Put the point up, put the 1 at the bottom. Again, what is the number that's smaller than 21, sorry, and closer to it? So that is 5 times 4, which is 20. That will give me, you put your 4 up and 20 at the bottom. Again, you're left with a 1. You can put another 0, you get 2. 8.42 is the answer here. The next one, you can try it by yourself and understand if you know the concept. The last question for this section, 45 divided by 10 to the power of 3. You can just write 1, 0, 0, 0. You put the decimal point is always outside the whole number. Take it inside. 1, 2, 3. 0. So the decimal is going to be here, and you're going to add another 0 here. So 0.045. Please don't forget to subscribe. Good luck for your exam tomorrow. And if you have any questions, you can ask me in the comment section down below. Take care of yourself. Bye-bye.